Welcome. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Cards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Decorator in the United States. And for the winter months here in the United States, I will be stamping with you from Florida. Today is January 3rd, 2023. Happy New Year. Welcome. Today I'm going to be using a brand new stamp set called Seaside Bay. I'm going to use the bundle and the dies to make my cards today. And this stamp set is going to be one of the new stamp sets in our new mini catalog. The mini catalog will be going live in 2 days. So January 5th on Thursday, you'll be able to order from this catalog. And in this catalog, there are 8 new suites and 54 brand new stamp sets, plus a lot of new designer series paper and embellishments. So it's really going to be an awesome catalog. And this starts in 2 days, along with Celebration. And Celebration is January, February, where when you place a $50 order from the annual catalog or the new mini, you can choose a free item out of the Celebration catalog. And today I'm going to have my monthly card class. So I'm going to show you the cards just like I would in an in-person card class, but I'll give you the opportunity if you want to place an order with me, you will receive 6 cards, 2 of each design. And when you place that order with me, in order to get the card kit, you do need to use this host code, but it is in the description also. Hello, Jenny. Welcome. Hi, Regina Ann. And Happy New Year. Okay, so I am going to turn the camera down, and we are going to make 3 cards today using that new stamp set, Seaside Bay. And I hope that you'll like the cards, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how to get the card kit for free. I give you a little bit of directions or information, and here we go. Okay, let me get a light on so you can see better. So we are using the Seaside Bay stamp set. We're going to use the bundle, so it does come with dies. There's some smaller birds, the large bird. We have like a clamshell, pearl, and lots of shells, and 3 different sentiments. And I'm going to use one. I'm going to use all the 3 sentiments, one for each of my 3 cards today. So thank you for everything. You are pearl, rare and precious, and heartfelt sympathy. And then it does come with, not only does it come with lots of dies, but it comes with lots of extra dies too. And I'll be using this in one of my cards today, and kind of the seaweed here. And so lots of dies that will cut out a lot of the images, but plus extra ones. I'm also going to be using the scallop contour dies, and I'm going to be using the next to the largest one. And then I'm also going to be using By the Bay designer series paper. This is 6x6, and I'm not going to take time to show it all to you, but it is gorgeous. And there's even some like gold foil on the designer series pages. So images, so beautiful paper. Okay, you ready to start? Okay, so here is our first card. This is the first card that we're going to make. It's a thank you card. And again, if you want this January card card class free. You just place a $35 order with me now through January 7th, and then I will mail the card kits out to you next week. Okay, so we're using a pool party card base, and you will also get envelopes with your card. So this is just like you would receive it. You will have some basic white scraps to do your stamping. You have to do your own die cutting for the images that would be in the bundle, but I will send you this scallop contour die label. So let's go ahead and fold our card base over. And again, this is pool party, and it's just the basic 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it this way because it's going to be opening that way. Okay, and I'm going to then bring in my pool party ink, and I'm going to stamp some spots. This is one of the images, so maybe it's small shells, I don't know, but I'm going to call it spots, I guess. And I'm just going to ink this up, and then I'm just going to stamp it around the card. And then just turn my card. And you can turn your stamp if you want to kind of give it a little bit of a different look. I really don't need it in the middle because we're going to be adding that contour label. Okay. Then I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to have to clean my stamp. And I'm going to use it again. I'm going to use it in crumb cake. And I'm going to bring in the contour label. Hi, Vay. So it's snowing in Minnesota. Oh dear, be careful out there. So I'm going to ink up these spots, the same spots I just used on the card base. And I'm going to place them on the bottom of our contour. Label, and that will be fine. And I said crumb cake, but I actually use soft suede to stamp at. So there you go. But I was going to do it in that, but I think either one we're fine. Now we're going to stamp our birds. So I am going to stamp my bird in soft suede. And I already have, I'll lay that aside right now. I already have a scrap, and so I'm going to place it right here and stamp it, and then die cut it out, which I have already done just to save time. And here is our bird. But I want my other bird, I'm going to have two birds. I want him facing, but I only have this one stamp. So I'm going to show you how to do reverse stamping. And this is one way to do it. So I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. And I'm going to bring a scrap of basic white, because I'm going to cut out my bird. I'm going to bring in the soft suede, and I'm going to ink it up good. I'm going to make sure there's lots of ink on my stamp. And then I am going to stamp it on the silicone craft sheet. And I'm going to press down, and I'm going to hold it there just for a little bit, because I want to make sure it gets a good impression and the ink goes to my silicone craft sheet. Then I'm going to bring my paper, or my cardstock rather, and I'm going to push down on it. I'm going to bring my block back in. And then I'm going to clean my bird stamp real quick. And then we are going to lift this up, and the bird is now facing the other way. The only thing, we don't have a die to cut this out because we just reversed the stamp. So to clean this, you can just take your chamois on your silicone craft sheet and you can just wipe it off. So you do need to take scissors and cut that out, which I have already done. And then I'm going to bring in Pool Party, Light Pool Party, and I am just going to, my Stamp and Blend, and I'm just going to color the tummy of our little bird with Pool Party. And then I'm going to bring the light crumb cake, and we're just going to, you don't necessarily have to cover or color the entire bird, but color some of the feathers. And I'm going to use Petal Pink for the eye. Okay, so here we have our two birds, and they're facing each other. And now I'm going to take my scrap and I'm going to stamp my shells. I don't have as many blocks here in Florida as I do in Iowa. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this, and I'm going to stamp this in Pool Party. And then I'm going to die cut that out. Now, when you die cut this out, you do lose a little bit. It just cuts the shells out. So I have the shells. And let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment, and then we're ready to put our card together. And I'm going to be using the Memento Black ink. And I'm going to be using Thank You for Everything. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to stamp it in the upper right-hand corner. And bring in our card base. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Now I could put a dimensional in the middle, but if you're going to mail this, you might want to just leave that off, so that will kind of through the mail a little bit easier. So I am just going to line this up. Maybe don't move everything around, and pop that up right there. And then I'm going to bring in, I know we're not quite ready for embellishments, but I'm going to bring in these adhesive back milky dots. And there are 4 colors. We have white, I think it's Petal Pink, Night of Navy, and I'm not sure on the which yellow it is, but I'm going to bring in my dark Pool Party. And I am just going to color 3 of the white dots with my Stampin' Blends Dark Pool Party. And you may not be able to see, but it does give a color to those dots. So I'm going to let that dry while we go ahead and put our card together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use adhesive for our shells. So I'm going to place this one right here. I think I got too much glue there. I have a new glue bottle, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not. Let's go ahead and pop up our birds, and that way we'll know where to add those shells. And I'm just putting 2 dimensionals on our birds. Take those backings off, and then we're just going to place, make sure I have you in the camera. And then we'll put the other little bird right here, looking at each other. And I think instead of adhesive, I'm going to bring in dots because these shells are really small, and so it's kind of hard to get just a little bit of glue on there. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of pop that up right there. And then this smaller shell, if I can even pick it up, we will add a glue dot. We'll just stick that right here. Bring in those milky dots. And we'll put one of those that I colored with the Pool Party right there. Pick up a third one. And you know what? Maybe 2 is just fine, but we could add another one right there. So here is our first card. Thank you for everything. So it's really quick and easy. I hope you like it. Well, yes, Jenny, the iridescent pearls are really great for coloring, but you can color these milky dots, I discovered too. So here is our first card. So I'm going to set that aside. And here our second card. I actually cased this from the new mini catalog, but I can't show you the inside pages of the mini catalog. But if you have it, you can most definitely look in there and see that it's similar to one that is in there. I changed it up just a little bit. So this is our second card that we're going to make. You are pearl, rare, and precious. So I'm going to set that right here. And before I make the second card, just really quick, I wanted to share with you that I am part of the Online Global. I'm part of a group of demonstrators. There's 4 of us, and we are inviting you to join us for our online global retreat, which will be February 17th and 18th. But right now we have an early bird registration special where you save 10%. So if you live in the United States, it's $49. You will receive in the mail a retreat box to go, and this includes the shipping. You have over $25 of Stampin' Up! Products, 8 makes, written tutorials with pictures in color, pillow gifts, and more. And then during those 2 days of February 17th and 18th, will be 8 live demonstrations with over 30 projects presented. So just wanted to, and there is information in the description if you're interested. Okay, let's go ahead and start on the second card. And this is what you will receive in the card kit. You'll receive the crumb cake card base. You will receive the designer series paper, and it will be cut for you along with the frame that I just used, that same contours die and cut out to make a frame. And then I still have that center that I can use on another card. And then in your kit, you'll have some pieces in your envelope, rather. And you will have, this time, you will have the leaves cut out. So I will cut the leaves out. And I will cut these daffodil shells out for you, but you will need to cut out the clam shell and for the sentiment piece. Okay, so and you also need scraps of basic white to do your cutting, to do your die cutting. All right, so again, the crumb cake card base, and I'm going to bring in the shell stamp, and we are going to stamp that using crumb cake. And let me get our blocks that we need. And we're going to be using Granny Apple Green and crumb cake for this card. But I'm glad you like that, the cards. Okay, so we're going to use crumb cake, and that says Sierra Sand. I seem to be I've lost my crumb cake ink. So we may be using Sierra Sand. All right. So we're going to use Sierra Sand, but because it is here. Guess I can't read, right? Okay. So we're going to ink up our shells, and then I am going to go ahead and stamp those at the bottom of my card base. And I'm going to place my frame here. So I do want the shells to show. So probably about so I'm going to do maybe like a half an inch up. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this designer series paper, and it's kind of wavy. It looks like waves of water to me, and it looks like waves. But I also use that one die that I was showing you earlier. That's in the Seaside Bay dies. This one right here, and that's what I used to cut the edge. And now I'm going to adhere this at the top of on our card base. So I will bring in my glue. And then I'm going to place that right at the top. And this is cut at 5.5 by 3. So 5.5 by 3. And then I'm going to bring in my frame, and I'm going to put this right on top. So this card looks like it might be difficult, but it really isn't. I could use glue dots. You could also use dimensionals to pop this frame up if you wanted to. And then I'm just going to lay it right. I'm going to get one side on there. And then, okay, and now we're ready to stamp our sentiment in Granny Apple Green. And we're using You Are a Pearl, Rare, and Precious. And then you will want to go ahead and cut that out. I do have a die cut here. And I can just stamp it right in there. And then I'm going to stamp our little clamshell. I'm going to stamp this in soft suede. And you'll have your scrap of base right in your card kit. So just ink this up and stamp that. And then you can go ahead and cut this out. Die cut it out, which I've already done. And now we're going to put our card together. Now on the leaves here, or seaweed, or whatever they are, I have two basic white, larger ones, and then I have some smaller ones. And I'm going to bring in the Pool Party light. And I'm just going to kind of add some Pool Party. And I don't necessarily need to color all of it. Maybe you want to blend some Balmy Blue. Just to give it a little bit of color. And then you'll have the die cuts and Daffodil Delight of the shells. But we are going to add our I'm calling them leaves, but I think they're probably like seaweed, not really leaves in the ocean, right? And then I'm going to bring this up a little bit because I know that I'm going to have one of these shells here. And I also want some of my shells here to show. So we'll just add a little bit of glue. And then we'll add one of the white. You know what? I think I'm going to turn one of these over. So it's going the opposite way to give it a little bit of different definition. So we'll bring in our Stampin' Blends. Got a little color. And I'm going to go ahead and add, I think I'm going to add the green this way, so it's going opposite. So I'm really putting the glue on, which would normally the right side, and then I can kind of put it like that. And I'm going to add. So you can just lay these kind of like however you want. And we're going to have our clamshell here, so you can kind of decide. Now this clamshell, we're going to fold it up like this. Let's go ahead and I don't know if we need that one right there. I think that looks pretty good. Go ahead and add this little one and stick it up here a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and pop up our clamshell. And I am just going to put dimensionals on this, the bottom part, the larger part that has the actual pearl in it. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals. And then I'm going to place that, oh, let's see, about right there. And then this small daffodil delight shell, I'm just going to put adhesive on that. And I'm going to stick that about right here. And then I'm going to pop up both of these larger shells with dimensional. And I'm going to pop that right up here. And then that covers kind of the ends of our seaweed. And we'll just put that right here. Bring in our sentiment. You are a pearl, rare and precious. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on this. And I'm going to put that right here. Here is our second card. I think there's a lot going on. I don't think you need to add any embellishments, but you most certainly could add an embellishment to this card. But again, it goes together really, really quick, really easy, even though it looks really complicated. I agree, Jenny. I like folding that clamshell. Just kind of gives it a little bit of kind of a 3D effect. Regina, I'm glad you're liking this card. Okay, we have one more card to make. So let me go ahead and get things ready for that. Get my new stamps. Okay, so our third card, I guess I better show it to you before. So this is our third card, Heartfelt Sympathy. So this is the third card that we're going to make, and we're going to be using a crumb cake card base. And again, you can get this card, you can get the card kit mailed to you, 6 cards, 2 of each of these designs, by placing a $35 order with me through Saturday, January 7th. And if you place a $50 order with me, you'll get the card kit and for the make and takes for the 6 cards, plus you'll receive a package of the Milky Dots. But you must use that host code, and it is in the description. Okay, so we are going to get the envelope out because I need more pieces, and they're in the envelope just like they will be when I send them to you. You'll have an envelope, and then you'll have the linen thread and the layers that you're going to need. Okay, so we're going to, the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we're going to stamp the shells front of the card. And so I'm going to bring in these shells, and I'm going to stamp off. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on the card. So I'm going to stamp off and then on the card. And once again, I'm just kind of stamping around the card. And I'm not worried about the middle because we're going to have that covered up with some layers of cardstock. Okay. So we have that finished. So let's lay that aside. And then I'm going to bring in a layer of Very Vanilla. And this is 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. And I am going to stamp at the bottom. And I want to stamp some dots. So I need to clean my shells off. And I'm going to bring in these little, I call them dots. I'm sure maybe there's sand. I don't know. So I'm going to ink that up. And then again, I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to stamp it just at the bottom of my card. Stamp off. And that's all I'm going to do for that. And then I'm going to bring in these little birds right here. And I'm going to go ahead and ink those up with soft suede. And I'm going to stamp this a little bit to the right of my card, so more to the right. And I'm going to kind of bring it down so it looks like these birds are walking in the sand. And then I'm going to bring in my sentiment, heartfelt sentiment, and I'm also going to ink it up in soft suede. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, and hopefully straight, in the right-hand corner. Not too bad. And then I'm going to bring these milky dots back in, and we are going to use that dark crumb cake Stampin' Blends, and I am going to go ahead and color 3 of the small dots. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I want to let them dry just a little bit, and the more you go back over them, the darker they get. And I think maybe with using the crumb cake, you might be able to see that they are darker than the clearer ones there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in that Pool Party, the light Pool Party Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to color their little tummies with the light Pool Party just to give them a little bit of color. I love the little birds that are at the ocean. And then if you want to, you can bring in your light crumb cake. And you can just kind of shade in a little bit on the birds. Then I'm going to bring this linen thread, and 16, I don't know, about 24 inches, I think. And then we're going to go ahead and actually, we're not quite ready to put that linen thread because I need to attach my vanilla layer to my soft suede layer. Then we're going to use the linen thread. I was just getting ahead of myself. So now I'm going to add some adhesive to our Very Vanilla layer. And my card base is crumb cake, but I wanted a little contrasting layer, so that's why I'm using soft suede for my layer. And I just have it about an eighth larger than my very vanilla, just to give it a little bit of contrast there. Now we are ready to bring in our linen thread, and we are going to wrap it around. So I'm going to wrap it around this way, then I'm going to wrap it around this way, and just a little bit more down there. You just kind of have to play around with it. So I wrapped it around once, and then the second time when I come up here, then I'll have enough to make a bow. But I have too much here, so I want to just pull it a little bit. There we go. And to make sure it's tight. And then I'm going to make a bow. That's the plan. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Sometimes when you're on camera, it's always harder, right? Now we're going to bring back our card base, and we are going to place it right here. Now, do you think I should pop up with dimensionals? This card here, I just added adhesive, and I didn't pop it up, but we most certainly could pop this layer up with dimensionals. So let me know if you want me to pop this layer up with dimensionals or just add glue. I'm going to clean my staff while you're letting me know. And also don't forget, in the description, there'll be information of how to place your order to get this card kit sent to you in the mail free, and also about the online retreat. So Jenny, you say pop up. Okay. And anyone else going to vote? Well, we will pop it up then. Okay, let's turn it over and let's go ahead and I was kind of curious what it would look like popped up. And if you're going to send it in the mail, you might want to leave that middle one off. But I'm going to go ahead and add that. And you can still send it in the mail. The reason I do like to add one in the middle, then it doesn't kind of sag. But I also know sometimes for postage, it's easier if you're going to send it in the mail not to add that. Okay, we're just going to place this right on our card. Try to get it in the middle and straight, which I don't think I did. So we'll try that again. All right, now let's bring in those milky dots. And we are going to use the ones that I colored. And I'm going to put one right up here, one right here, and down here. So here is our third card. Which one do you like the best? Do you like the heartfelt? This is one we just made, the third one. Or do you like the second one? You are pearl, rare, and precious. Or do you like the first card that we made the best? Thank you for everything. Let me know which card that you like the best. I don't know. I like this first one that I made really well. So I hope you had fun watching me make the cards. I hope you like the cards. Hi, Judy. And let me know which one that you like the best, because it's, but you like the last one, Jenny? And it is kind of a, I think they're all, you can't go wrong with that Seaside Bay stamp set. You can't make a bad card, I don't think, with that. It's just such a cute stamp set, and it's just really fun to work with. So I appreciate you watching. Please leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that. Give me a thumbs up or a like. It really helps me to grow my channel. I hope you enjoyed our crafting today. And again, you can get this card kit free. Making takes for 6 cards for 2 of each of the 3 designs. You do need to have the bundle so you can do most of the die cutting, but I'll send you the linen thread, the DSP, and that frame for the cards. If you place a $35 order before tax and shipping, if you place a $50 order before tax and shipping, I'll send you a pack of Milky Dots along with the making tape kits. Thanks for watching. Don't forget that online registration is early bird, so you save 10% by registering now through January 8th. I appreciate you being here. I'll see you on next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central. Have a great week. Thank you. See you soon.